Hi there, I'm Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up for Sunday, June 7th, 2020. So, how's everybody doing out there with the Venus, Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter retrograde things going on? Added to the party, we have an eclipse that went down last Friday, and we have a solar eclipse coming up, and then another eclipse. So, we're in this trifecta of eclipses, which is like an energy vortex point, which is kind of cool and also very weird. We'll also have Neptune and Mercury added to the retrograde hoedown. Oh, yes. We do have Venus moving forward later this month, so they will have some relief on the Venus front, but it's been wreaking havoc in a lot of my clients' lives. A lot of my friends' life has been really on their last end with relationships or like jobs that aren't working for them, stuff like that. So that can happen in Venus retrograde. So I believe everyone has psychic ability. That's the whole psyched up thing for me, is that I believe everyone is intuitive. It shows up in different ways for different people. There's a myriad of ways that psychic abilities can show up. For me, I'm an empath. I feel other people's feelings. I'm also a channel, which means I'll just download and have stuff kind of come over me. I'm also a medium, which means I can hear other people's loved ones, or they'll kind of come through me as well. I use tarot, a non-traditional tarot deck, and astrology to do my readings. And I've been doing professional readings since 1988. I have been a practicing Nichiren Buddhist since 1984. So I conduct my work from a spiritual platform. I chant to plug into my own Buddha nature, into the infinite, magical, mystical energy that's in the universe, and plug into that every day through my Buddhist practice and raise my life condition and access my download for the day. And so that's how I've been living my life for a long time, intuitively, not being what I'm told or what my brain or what the rules were. I felt led to follow my own inner voice, and it was really out on a limb out there by myself. Like, and there was nobody in front of me that was anywhere near in my situation. Single mom, 6 kids, interracial kids, and everything I was doing to follow my own inner voice and listen to myself was against what my mom wanted me to do. She was a racist, still is, didn't want me to have interracial kids. So, okay. So I just had 6 of them instead. So there. And then she didn't want me to be a Buddhist. She didn't like my work being a psychic. She didn't like that I birthed my babies at home, or that I nursed them till they were toddlers, or that I homeschooled them. All the things that I chose to do to just follow my own inner voice, and not what someone else was telling me to do, not what society was telling me to do, has been left to me prepared to be on, have a raft built for this flood already. I was already doing 90% of my psychic work over the phone before COVID hit. I was already homeschooling my youngest. I've homeschooled all 6 of my kids, so I have 3.5 decades of homeschooling experience. To me, the opportunity to spend more time with my 17-year-old, who would have been gone all the time had it not been for COVID, was a sweet kiss from the universe to me. Oh, wow, I have some more time to spend practicing my instruments, or being in my gardens. Like, I love that. It's been awesome, I think. And so I also spend lots of time chanting every day to raise my vibration above the collective, so that I don't tap into the paradigm of fear that's just ripping through our planet right now. So I choose to step away from that and focus on the things that make me feel joyful and full of love. And we are free to create whatever reality we want at any time we want. As a Buddhist, I always look at any obstacle that I encounter in my life as one of 2 things. I either look at it as poison to turn to medicine, or an obstacle to turn to a benefit. That's it. Like, the crap that we have to go through is the stuff that makes us grow, and that's where we, can really change our karma. Excuse me, let me take a drink. Apparently someone needs to pause on that thought. Okay, allergies have been really bad for me here in Central Texas. Always. Okay. Retro energy. is a time to go within. It's a time to write in your journal. It's a time to review, rewind, relook, renew, renew a vow, go back to where you used to go before, COVID hit. It's also, you may be seeing a theme repeated because the last time that Venus was retrograde in Gemini was 8 years ago. So think back 8 years ago, what was going on in your life. And so, like, what was going on in terms of where you put your heart and your passions, and did it show up in, like, when you got the review time, how did it show up? And so, like, for me, I saw my Facebook memories come up, like what happened to me 8 years ago in this time frame when Venus was retrograde. My oldest son graduated as valedictorian of his high school. So that was like a real validation that I was not going to F my kids up, which was, my mother was convinced that I would, homeschooling my children. And she didn't even know I was unschooling them on top of that. So to me, the review at that point was like, yeah, I put my energies in the right place. I listened to my inner voice and look at what happened, what my love and my heart, one of my kids, graduates valedictorian. And then, like, I also had my number 5 child just graduate with a college degree. So now I have my 5 older kids all have high school diplomas, and 3 of them now have college degrees. That's not bad for an unschooler. And the other 3 just are pursuing life and their enjoyment. My youngest is already a professional musician, already on his track. He's working on his GED. So that's just an example of how I listen to my intuition in my life. It's how I live my life. It's how I've raised my children. And it was just a hypothesis that I could follow my own inner voice, and I wouldn't, I'd be actually doing the best thing for my children. And I have an amazing crew of grown people that I've raised that are super cool. So that's what I have to say about that. Okay. I've got the cards here, and I got the guidance just to draw 1 or 2 for someone out there who might need an answer to a question. So I'm going to just tune in to anybody who might be looking at this video and needs an answer. Like, please just answer this question. I need this answer. That's what I'm getting, someone who's like needing to have some clarity. All right, so I'm getting the possibilities card. So this could involve a move. It's a journey for sure. It's a spiritual journey. There's a need to see it from a higher perspective, to pull away from your situation and to observe it as if you were your best friend. Like if your best friend was in your situation, what would you tell them? Like, that's a way to kind of get a perspective and pull away from your own situation. Another way is to talk to yourself in third person, like, well, Karen Marie, blah, blah, blah. And so that's a way you can kind of look at yourself. But there's a need to pull away from your situation and get a higher perspective. But this could literally mean travel. And particularly since there's mountains here, it could be specifically moved into the mountains. It's possibilities. It's also the note to anything is possible. There's nothing that's set in concrete on this planet. We are co-creating. We can manifest a beautiful reality at any point in time. Buddhism is often represented by the lotus flower, which blooms in the muddy swamp. So it's often the stankiest of conditions in our lives that produce the most growth. So I feel like that's the note to leave that on. Okay, let's see if I can get through a song without coughing here. All right, I was guided to play a song I wrote called Something. So with the theme of Venus retrograde, this is a song I wrote about an ex who I'd also have had many past life flashbacks around. So, and when I met him, I knew he was too wounded to be able to really pull off loving me back the way I knew I could love him. So I just made a vow to love him unconditionally no matter what. And I've kept that vow. August will be 35 years ago that I met this individual. So he knows who he is. If he's watching this, this will go out to him. He'll know what that means. All right. Let's see. Called something. Something in the way you move, something in the way we groove, something in the things you say made me want to stay. I knew right from the start that you'd be in my heart. Now, baby, as the years have flown, my love for you has grown. I love you, I know you see, and I think we make great harmony. Do you think you'd like to spend eternity with me? There's something in the way you move, something in the way we groove, something in the things you say that make me want to stay. I see you running, dear. I see that you're full of fear. Don't worry if timing's not quite right. You have freedom, take your flight. Because I want mutuality, and I want our friendship to be free. I don't need a ring to tell me that you love me. There's something in the way you move, something in the way we groove, something in the things you say that make me want to stay. Okay, that's something. Okay, ouch. It caught on that earring. So, I'm actually really over and hope I don't have any more rounds with this person. I had a healer work on me today, and she said, like, you don't have any cords to him. You've really done your work. I'm like, yes, thanks for the validation. She's like, however, there's 9 cords from him to you. And I'm like, okay. And she worked those off, and so I thought it appropriate to sing that song today to kind of like celebrate a release from karmic bondage when you go round and 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 round with the same issue, with the same person and the same stuff, and you just keep getting on that same train. And then when you finally one day go, wait a minute, I don't want to ride that train. And instead of stepping on the train, you step away from the tracks and you let the train pass by and you don't get on. And then that's that. So awareness is everything. And how do you become aware? By listening, by paying attention. How do you follow your inner voice if you don't know how it's showing up for you? Okay, so when I say listen to your gut, where is that? Like some people's is literally their stomach. This is where they feel it. Their stomach gets tied up in knots when something feels off or wrong. Other people, like they literally can feel something through their third eye, or the back of the neck is a great psychic, like radar place. But we all have somewhere the information is coming into us intuitively from our higher self, from our internal GPS system. So I want everyone to work on developing your own intuition. Your own intuition is your voice of your higher self. It's not something to be afraid of. Even if you've been programmed through religious or other means that psychic things are of the devil. It is not true. Not that there's not crazy satanic psychics out there. I'm sure there is. I do my spiritual practice first. My spiritual practice came first in my life before I started doing my readings professionally. So I started chanting every day in 1984. I launched my psychic professional business in 1988. Been a musician my entire life. My mother, one thing I will be super grateful for my mom about is that she was a piano teacher. So I have been a musician from the womb. I have played piano my entire life. I played flute since age 11 and guitar I picked up in high school and college. So, but, you know, I'm trumped by my youngest son who plays 7 instruments. So I love that. I think it's important that we listen not only to what we need for our own lives, but the young people are the future, right? They're our future leaders. Our children are the leaders of the future. And so we can't just be asleep and selfish, like getting our own personal needs met. Self-care is different from selfishness, okay? Everyone needs to have a self-care toolkit. I've been preaching about this in my Psyched-Up Sundays, right? For me, my chanting, soaking in the tub, taking walks, doing my music, doing art, writing in my journal, calling a friend. Those are basics tools for me. Chanting's number one. It's the one thing I can assure myself I will transform whatever's up for me if I sit down and chant. Breath work is another super simple thing you can do from wherever you are. You could stop and breathe. In fact, let's do that. Like, stop a minute, close your eyes. Unless you're driving, don't close your eyes if you're driving. You can keep your eyes open and do this exercise if you're driving. Breathe deeply. Breathe in divine energy. Breathe out any anxiety, worry, fear. Breathe in divine energy. Breathe out crap, toxic energy, other people's stuff. Breathe in divine. Invite your spirit guides to come in. Breathe out emotional dis-ease, physical dis-ease, mental dis-ease. Breathe in peace, calm. Breathe out. Like, see, you can just keep doing this as long as you need to. One of the simplest, quickest ways you can shift your energy, right? Breath. No matter what you're doing, if you're in, handcuffs with a cop, you can, unless, of course, you have a knee on your throat, in which case you might not be able to breathe deeply. Most of us, in situations, do at least have our breath at our hands, at our disposal. So, anything else? Okay, Rebecca, there's a Rebecca. Okay. A message for a Rebecca. Okay, and I'm seeing it feels like there's a wedding that a loved one has missed. Because I'm feeling like I'm seeing like rose petals, like on like it looks like a bridal walk, and that there is this sadness or tears, and like it feels like you looked up and thought, it feels like your father, and thought of him and wished that he was there with you and hoped that he was. And so this is a confirmation that yes, indeed, he was there. So, okay. Anything else? Oh, okay. So my website is being taken down because it's being redone. So I have a beautiful team that's helping me revamp a lot of what I'm doing. So expect to see everything looking a lot more spiffy and polished moving into the future. If you would like to contact me for a reading, past life regression, rebirthing, psychic development session, which we can do over the phone, you can email me through my website. If it's up and running, is Karen Marie at KarenMariePsychic.com. My personal email is bringoutthebuddha@gmail.com. And so that's bring it to me, out and proud, the article, and Buddha, Buddha. Bring out the Buddha, all one word, at gmail.com. That's how you can get in touch with me if you would like to get a reading and find out my rates and all that kind of stuff. Just send me an email. I'll be glad to email you back and go from there. All right. I also feel called to do a Sancho, which is what we in Buddhism is chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo 3 times. We usually begin and end our Buddhist meetings with Sancho, chanting 3 times. So just to go over the mantra that I chant, Nam means to devote yourself to or to fuse your life with. Myoho is mystic law. In this Buddhism, we are not praying to a being outside of ourselves. We're not praying to Buddha. We're fusing our life. It's kind of like if you would join in with your own instrument in a symphony that's already playing. That just came to me for the first time. That was pretty nice. Renge is cause and effect. It's literally the lotus flower that produces its blossoms and its seeds at the same time. So it symbolizes when we set the cause, in this case, say this mantra, we are evoking our Buddha nature to come out and to fuse our life with the rhythm of the universe, which is Kyo, sounds, rhythms, and vibrations. So I fuse my life with the rhythm of the universe through sounds, rhythms, and vibrations. So, and this is the highest cause on the planet. The Buddha spoke about it in the Lotus Sutra. And so it's Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Peace.